There was a kind of sidebar controversy that took place last week after the landing of the probe on the comet. And this involved Matt Taylor, a scientist who has been very harshly criticized for wearing a shirt that many described as sexist, misogynistic, and offensive to women. And he now has offered an apology during which he really basically broke down, and we'll play some of that audio and video for you. He wore this shirt which had semi-naked women on it, and it caused a whole controversy from people saying that why would you wear that shirt? It's clearly just a shirt that is going to anger people. It's offensive to women. And why would a scientist who wants to be taken seriously wear that shirt? And he now has issued an apology for wearing this shirt, and we will play that for you now.
Maybe it's too early to really say how the science is comparing with that from the Rosetta orbiter, but perhaps you'd like to give us a bit of an overview of how it's going to compare with the data that we collect from the orbiter.
Okay, the shirt I wore this week, I made a big mistake and I offended many people, and I'm very sorry about this.
So the reaction was mixed. Feminist science journalist Elizabeth Gibney said, quote, said he made a big mistake and is very sorry, then moved on to fillet science, good stuff. Others were not so impressed with the apology. I_Will Pierce tweeted, the fact that Matt Taylor was bullied, forced, coerced into apologizing for expressing his fashion taste makes me very sad. For me, it's not so much about the shirt itself. I mean, yes, the shirt was in poor taste, and we could argue whether a scientist should be wearing such a shirt or not. Of course, people do have the freedom to wear whatever clothing they want, but this is something someone emailed me, which I thought was interesting about this, and I'll read it to you. And it was in the context of progressives disagreeing sometimes about what is proper, what is correct, what's our position. Quote, for instance, in Shirtgate, progressives attacked that scientist's shirt for being sexist. Fundamentally, the attack was about freedom for women to be comfortable in the sciences without exposure to men wearing shirts that depict sexy women. The counterattack was also about freedom for the guy to wear the shirt. Freedom can be used to justify anything. I think that that's true, and I don't even want to get into the specifics of whose freedom trumps who else's freedom in this particular case. But back to our conversation from last week, Lewis, about the Democratic Party and progressives more broadly needing to rebrand themselves as the side that is for freedom, the freedom to not have to stick with a job you hate because if you get sick, it'll basically ruin you financially for the rest of your life, the freedom to make decisions about your own body, etc. This is a very good example of how when we talk about freedom, we're talking about freedom to do something, freedom from something. What type of freedom specifically are we talking about?
I don't know. Certainly he was exercising his freedom.
And other people were free to be offended as well.
Free to be offended, yes. But, did this require an apology? He seemed pretty upset by what happened afterwards.
We have to assume that he realized why the people were upset and thus decided to apologize. To say he was coerced into an apology, if you're coerced into an apology, you can usually tell you apologize that people were offended as opposed to just taking responsibility for what you did. You probably wouldn't be as emotional. So I don't have any evidence that he was coerced into an apology here.
No, he seemed genuinely upset when he delivered the apology. And, if he wasn't wearing this shirt, if he didn't happen to be on camera while wearing the shirt, would we ever have heard about this?
Probably not.
Probably not. And while working in a place where presumably there are women and presumably he is a person of interest, I think it was just poor timing and poor taste, of course, to be wearing that on camera. But the outrage only happened because of the internet and because of the blogs and because of the viral nature of what we're, the internet.